Your Excellency.
Asanteni sana. Now, good morning everybody. Hamjambo, mambo, hebu mnigote hivi, mnigote kila mtu. Sasa, today is Sunday, right? And today is also Father's Day, right? Can we say happy Father's Day to all the fathers in Kenya? Can we say it again? Great. Thank you very much. Now, I want the people here to, today being Sunday, I want us to sing one number. Right? Beleni na endelea. Please, can you put it on the screen up there so that everybody can sing? Mko na screen nyinyi watu? Harakisha. Mnajua hiyo wimbo? Very good. Do we have it? Faster, faster. Put it on the screen. Mbele nina endelea,
ninazidi kutembea, maombi uyasikie, e Bwana unipandishe, e Bwana uniinue, kwa imani nisimame, nipande milima yote, e Bwana unipandishe, sinatamani nikae mahali pa shaka kamwe, hapo wengi wanakaa, uendelea na e Bwana uninue, kwa imani nisimame, nipande milima yote, e Bwana unipandishe, nisikae duniani, ni mahali pa shetani, natazamia mbinguni, nitafika kwa imani. Sema e Bwana uninue, kwa imani nisimame, nipande milima yote, e Bwana unipandishe, nataka nipandishwe juu zaidi ya mbingu, nitaomba nirudishwe, e Bwana unipandishe, niinue, kwa imani nisimame, nipande milima yote, e Bwana unipandishe, e Bwana uninue, kwa imani nisimame, nipande milima yote. yote, e Bwana unipandishe.
Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. Distinguished guests, officers, volunteers, and cadets of St. John Ambulance Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, I am truly honored to stand among the men and women and the boys and girls who have embraced a calling that is both demanding and noble, the call to serve. In a world that often celebrates what we can gain, you have chosen to be defined by what you can give. For nearly a century, St. John's Ambulance Kenya has lived by a simple but demanding creed: pro utilite hominum, in the service of humanity. You do not merely recite those words, you live them. On our roadsides, in our stadia, in our schools, in our villages and communities, you are often the first to arrive when tragedy strikes. You are a reassuring presence in moments of fear and anxiety, and often the difference between life and death. This past year alone, you have trained more than 254,000 Kenyans in first aid and emergency preparedness. Pongezi. You have done well. Through the Highway Emergency Response Project, you extended life-saving support to thousands of road users. Through the Mama na Mwana program, you have stood beside mothers and newborns in Kajiado County. Pongezi. Behind every number is a life touched, a family protected, and a future preserved. The first responder is rarely a doctor or a paramedic. More often, it is a neighbor, a teacher, a parent, and a passerby who chose not to look away. That is why I fully support your aspiration of at least one trained first aider in every Kenyan household. And we will work with you to make sure that you achieve that aspiration. A nation that equips its people to save lives is a nation that is stronger, safer, and more resilient. The need has never been greater. Last year, more than 5,000 Kenyans lost their lives on our roads. Thousands more suffered injuries that altered their lives forever. Many could have been saved if help had arrived sooner, or if a trained responder had been nearby during the first few critical minutes after an accident. Your work in those moments is often the difference between a funeral and a homecoming. That is why the government of Kenya will continue working with St. John's Ambulance Kenya and the Ministry of Health to strengthen emergency response systems, expand ambulance coverage, and improve coordination. St. John's Ambulance Kenya also holds a place of distinction within the global order, one of a select number of priorities within a worldwide family, serving in more than 40 countries. We did not inherit that standing, we earned it. And with it comes a duty to to continue setting the standard for service and excellence across Africa and the Commonwealth. I am also aware that your organization has outgrown its facilities and is pursuing a modern national center for training, coordination, and volunteer development. Today, I reaffirm the Government of Kenya's commitment that we will give you land at Upper Hill. Let me say this. I made that commitment, and tomorrow you can collect your title from the Ministry of Lands. It's ready. I have also engaged the Speaker of Parliament, and between St. John's Ambulance Kenya and Parliament, you have agreed that you will surrender the small building you have near Parliament, and Parliament is going to give 300 million shillings for you to be able to build your new headquarters. The Government of Kenya will equally support St. John's Ambulance Kenya so that the building in Upper Hill, 1 acre building, 1 acre land in Upper Hill, you will use the money that Parliament is going to give you, but we will also add, as the Government of Kenya, an additional 200 million shillings to make sure that you have a modern building. And therefore, Treasury is instructed accordingly, and all the other relevant agencies, to make sure that the relevant drawings are approved so that we can begin as of immediate to implement this most critical and important project. This commitment is part of a broader effort to strengthen Kenya's emergency response architecture and ensure that life-saving assistance reaches every citizen wherever they may be. In that regard, I am also pleased to announce that Kenya will launch its first National Ambulance Dispatch Center, becoming only the second African country to establish a nationally coordinated ambulance dispatch system. The center, which is scheduled to be launched at the end of July, this is next month, will be integrated into our digital health infrastructure, empowered by the Digital Health Agency, enabling faster coordination, real-time deployment, and more efficient emergency response across the country. Once fully operational, it is expected to coordinate approximately 100,000 emergency evacuations annually. Most importantly, every Kenyan who requires emergency evacuation through this system will receive them free of charge. As you all know, under the universal health coverage that I promised the nation of Kenya, which is now being implemented full scale across the country, we also made the determination that in the past we have lost many lives. One, because there isn't a proper emergency service, and that many accident victims, when they get to the hospital, they are asked who is going to pay the bill. And sometimes they are asked, where is the deposit for us, for a hospital to give service? as a government and to sort out that problem which was giving us a very serious outcome with many deaths. People die the first few minutes after an accident or when they get to hospital and they are not attended immediately. So as a result, under the universal health coverage in SHA, we have also established the Emergency Critical Care Fund, and henceforth, every accident when a victim arrives in hospital, the first 24 hours is paid for by SHA for everybody, those who are registered or those who are not registered. And I'm very proud that over the last 1.5 years, that service has been made available, and we are on course in providing adequate resources to make sure that that service is available to all Kenyans. It is the reason why in the budget and the finance bill that I'm going to sign on Tuesday, we have enhanced the resources that are going to PHC from 13 billion Kenya shillings to 18 billion Kenya shillings to make sure that we cover every aspect of the commitments we have made to the people of Kenya. Allow me now to also speak to one more thing. When I had an engagement with the leadership of St. John, they told me that they have only 4 ambulances that have been registered under SHA because the other ambulances are not ready. I have instructed the Ministry of Health, because of what St. John Ambulance Kenya does, especially on matters emergency, and the training you have done for many of our young people. When I see this great congregation of young people trained on not what they can get, but what they can give. Therefore, we will also do 2 things for St. John. I've instructed the Ministry of Health to buy an additional 15 ambulances. Modern ambulances, and register them with St. John Ambulance and register them with SHA so that they can be covered, and all emergency services provided will be paid for by SHA. And number 2, I have also asked the Minister Aden Duale to work with Parliament to review the legislation that establishes this great organization, and that from next year we will provide as government a supporting budget of 100 million shillings every year. And we are doing this because the young people I see here from the Dolphins, are they? Dolphins, all the way, I am really proud of this great organization. Pongezi. I have been informed that there are 62,000 members, different categories, from Dolphins all the way to cadets and all the other senior people in this great organization. And you are selfless in what you do. You are not thinking about self, you are thinking about others. And because of the mentorship that I see in these young people, because I see the culture that is being inculcated in these young people, I am persuaded that this organization deserves every support of the government of Kenya. And that I commit. Let me also say that as we mentor the young people of our nation, vijana wetu wa Kenya ni wa muhimu sana. Our children are a blessing to every mother, father, and family. And that is the reason why we must invest whatever resources. I am very proud that St. John is participating in one of our very critical aspects, that is saving every mother who has gone to give birth and saving every newborn child, making sure that none of them is lost. We have bought equipment for 635 hospitals around Kenya to make sure that no mother and no child is lost during childbirth. We must give every child a chance to live, and we must give every mother the opportunity to bring forth life in Kenya. And that is why progressively we have invested in universal health coverage, because it is a duty imposed on us by the Constitution of Kenya that every Kenyan is entitled to proper health care. It must be universal. It is not right, and I say this without any fear of any contradiction, it is not right that there can be citizens who cannot go to hospital. They prefer to stay at home and possibly die because they have no means to pay. It is the reason why universal health coverage, it is the reason why SHA is central to our development as a country. It gives every Kenyan an opportunity to live and to get attention, medical attention. Na nimesema na nitarudia, pale nyuma tulikuwa na bima ya afya ambayo ilikuwa inashughulikia watu wachache. Lazima uwe na kazi, lazima uwe na pesa, lazima uwe na uwezo. Tukasema afya sio starehe ya watu matajiri, wale wako na kazi, wale wako na pesa, wale wako na uwezo. Afya ni haki ya kila Mkenya. Sehemu ya 43 ya katiba ya Kenya inasema hivyo, na ndio sababu SHA sasa inashughulikia kila Mkenya, wale walio na ajira, wasio na ajira, wale wako na kazi, wale wasiokuwa na kazi. That is how we want to move. Na pia niseme mbali na afya, ili kuwakuza hawa watoto wetu sisi kama wazazi, and I speak proudly today on Father's Day as a father myself. I speak to other fathers, and I want to say this to my fellow fathers in Kenya. Fatherhood is a sacred responsibility centered on spiritual leadership, provision, and guidance. Sisi wote tuliobarikiwa kuwa wazazi tuko na majukumu, and I say this on this very significant day, that every father, you must know that fatherhood is a sacred responsibility. To lead your family, to pray. Every father is the chief priest of their families. And to provide for your family and to guide your family, especially your children. Proverbs 22:6 says this: teach your child about the way to go. Even when they grow old, they will not depart from it. I say this to every father. When we see our children doing whatever it is that they are doing, we must hold ourselves responsible as fathers, because it is a sacred responsibility that we have, and we must discharge it as fathers. Na waomba wazazi, hasa kina baba wetu, there is no child without a father. Yes. The same way there is no child without a mother. So we must carry that responsibility. Allow me now to speak directly to the young people before me today. One of the most important lessons of St. John Ambulance is that emergencies do not happen. More often than not, they begin with a choice. A driver chooses speed over caution. A passenger chooses not to wear a seat belt. Someone chooses carelessness around a fire. Someone chooses violence instead of restraint. Then, in a matter of moments, lives are changed forever, and many times for the worse. The volunteers of St. John know this reality better than most. They arrive after the choice has been made. They witness the consequences. They see the injuries, the grief, and the regret. They hear the questions that come too late. Why did I do it? Why didn't I stop? Why didn't someone speak up? These past few weeks, our nation has regrettably carried the pain of losing young lives in places where children should have been safest. We mourn those lives. We stand with their families, and we pray for the healing of those who are injured. Our young people must draw lessons from these incidences. Every choice carries a consequence. Some consequences are temporary, others are permanent. They can alter the course of your life, damage your reputation, stain your record, and leave a burden on your conscience that you will carry for many years. To the young people of our country, I say this: character is not forged in life's grand moments alone. It is shaped in the choices you make every day. When you are angry, when no one is watching, when it is easier to follow the crowd, and when your conscience is calling you to stand apart from it. The easiest thing to do in the world is to follow the crowd. The hardest thing is to stand apart from it. Yet, that is where character is revealed. In the willingness to make the right decision, even when it is the unpopular one. Yours is a free country. You have the freedom to dream, freedom to speak, freedom to become all that you can be. But freedom and responsibility are inseparable. You cannot claim one and reject the other. Freedom without responsibility is not freedom. It is recklessness. And recklessness always has a cost. Sometimes the person who pays that bill is you. Sometimes it is someone entirely innocent. That is why I am so proud of the cadets standing before me today, in a generation encouraged to think first of itself. You have chosen discipline over impulse, service over self, and responsibility over indifference. Kenya needs more young people who run towards problems to solve them, not towards trouble to cause it. We need more builders than destroyers, more helpers than bystanders, and more healers than those who cause harm. Be that generation. Be the generation that understands that every action matters, every choice counts, and every choice carries consequences. Be the generation that leaves Kenya safer, kinder, and stronger than you found it. Ladies and gentlemen, St. John's Ambulance Kenya remains a valued partner in our efforts to build a healthier and more resilient nation. Through the Social Health Authority and Every Woman Everywhere initiative, Every Woman Every Newborn initiative, the Community Health Promoters Program, and the National Disaster Risk Management Act, we are building systems that place people at the center. We recognize St. John's Ambulance Kenya not merely as a volunteer organization, and it is a great one, but a strategic national partner in safeguarding the lives of people. To every volunteer, every cadet, and every officer gathered here today, you are an extraordinary 62,000 strong national asset. Your value cannot be measured in shillings or cents. It is measured in lives saved, suffering eased, and hope restored. Let us build a Kenya where every citizen is ready to help another, where no mother loses her life while giving life, where no child is lost in a place meant to keep them safe, where freedom and responsibility walk hand in hand, and where compassion is recognized as a strength and not a weakness. Nimesema asante sana kwa kunitembelea. Nimefurahi sana kuwaona. You people are smart. I mean, yani tukusema ukweli, you are smart. And you are good people. And you are a big asset for our nation. I am so proud of you guys, and I am proud to be patron of this great organization. I commit as patron to support you and to work with you so that St. John's Ambulance Kenya can continue to deliver the great service that they do in the Republic of Kenya, and to mentor and to develop and to support and to train more young people to be the responsible citizens that I see in this great gathering. Pongezi for stepping forward as volunteers. You had many choices to make, but you chose not to gain, but you chose to serve and to give. Mimi nawaambia asante sana. You have my support. You have the support of the administration that I lead, and we will make sure that St. John's Ambulance Kenya grows from one level to another. I am very confident that next year we will have cause to celebrate even more, because we will have saved more lives and we will have done better than we are today. Mukirudi nyumbani, si mtasalimia wazazi wenu jameni? Mtawasalimia? Mtanisaidia kupeleka salamu zangu kwao? Very good. Na nimefurahi sana mumenitembelea hapa asubuhi ya leo. Mkirudi nyumbani muwe na safari njema. Nyinyi wote najua wengi wenu mnasoma shuleni, na watakia heri na masomo yenu. I just want to assure you that we will continue to invest in you as we invest in the education of all our children. Kwa mambo yenu ya elimu, budget ambayo mimi nitaweka sahihi hapo baada ya siku ya kesho, tumeongeza budget ya kusomesha watoto wetu kutoka bilioni 702 mpaka bilioni 784, kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mtoto wa Kenya anapata nafasi ya kusoma. Tumeajiri walimu zaidi ya 1,100 kwa miaka mitatu kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtoto anapata nafasi ya kusoma. Tumejenga madarasa 23,000. Tumejenga saa hizi laboratories 1,600 katika mashule ya kule mashinani. Na katika hii budget vile vile tumeongeza pesa ambayo itatusaidia kwa Higher Education Loans Board ambayo ilikuwa bilioni 15 in 2022. Mwaka huu tumeweka bilioni 56 kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wetu wa university, vijana wetu wa TVET, vijana wetu wa KMTC wanapata pesa ya kuhakikisha kwamba masomo yao haina matatizo pale shuleni. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie watoto wetu, as a father and as president, that we will look after you. We will make sure that we do the best so that every child in Kenya has an opportunity to live, has an opportunity to learn, have an opportunity to get quality education, to train and be the best they can be, because that is how Kenya is going to be a great country. Kwa hivyo asanteni sana, na wapenda, na watakia heri, na watakia baraka ya Mungu. I give you the blessings of our Father. Mkienda nyumbani mubarikiwe sana. Asanteni and God bless you.
Tumpongeze rais kwa makofi tafadhali. Makofi ya kumpongeza rais. Your Excellency, let us take our seats please. As part of the highlight today, Your Excellency, it is the launch of a strategic